Okay, I'm live now. Hello, friends and families. This is Orange Naranja, and I'm coming to you live. This is Facebook Live number 2 out of 30, so that means that I have 28 left. And today's live is gonna be on how one should respond instead of reacting, and the importance of using pauses in your life, and also the importance of controlled breathing. So, just gonna wait a little while, see more people come on this live, and if you stop by on the live, just say hi so I know you're watching and you're with me. I don't feel by myself. I mean, even though it's good, some solitude is always good. But these are the times that I wish to share things with other people. I mean, I'm constantly sharing things with other people on Facebook, I feel. And sometimes I feel like I'm doing a little bit too much, maybe. It's just that I'm a restless soul. That's what it is. And I always have like energy to give out and things like that. So before I start my live, I want to salute a couple of people. To all the magicians, to all the magicians, to all the witches, I salute you. To all the healers, I salute you. To all the warriors, I salute you. To all the people that walk through the fire and go back, and then walk through and walk back to supply other people with water, with food, with comfort, I salute you. To all the restless souls out there, I salute you. To all the gentle souls out there, I salute you. To all the fierce souls out there, I salute you as well. Hello, Alexandra. Hiya. From England. Isn't it nice to be in England? I would love to go to England one day just to drink coffee. Well, not coffee, but to drink tea and eat biscuits or cake. I mean, I love tea, and I've been to a few tea rooms, but I feel like one would get the whole experience by going to the source. So going to England, where they have probably one of the best teas in the world. I would like that. And just want to show a little scene of where I'm at. I'm at the park again. It's like I live here. I might as well just set up a mattress or a hammock or something along that nature over here. And this is place that I come to distress and things like that. It's a great place. Yes. So let me start my Facebook Live. Today, it's 95 degrees out today in New York City, so I'm trying to do the least as possible. I'm not trying to get hot. Trying to stay in a cool place until at least later. Trying to dress comfortably, dress light, bring lots of water, drink lots of water, eat light, and things of that nature. So today's Facebook Live is about responding instead of reacting. So we, as a society, collectively, have been conditioned to react instead of respond. Now, what do I mean by that, and what's the difference between reacting and responding? So reacting is when somebody does something to you or says something to you that you don't like, and you don't think, and you just react towards them by either saying something back to them or you react in a negative manner. So pretty much it's just somebody gives you energy and you immediately give them some type of energy back, and most of the times it's going to be negative energy. Responding, it's almost the same thing, it's just slightly different, and that's what makes the big difference. Responding, you analyze the situation, you analyze your choices, and you choose wisely, and you prepare for any choice that you have made. You prepare for the consequences. Not so much when you react towards certain things, because when you react towards certain things or certain people or certain derogatory comments, whatever happens after the situation, I mean, you're still responsible for it, but you might be overwhelmed at whatever happens, because you might say something and then you were like, well, I wasn't expecting that to happen. And I'm pretty sure as human beings, it's happened quite often. It's happened quite often in my life, and I've learned how to respond instead of reacting. So in my line of work, they teach us to respond instead of reacting. So let me take an example. You come to a scene where somebody's injured. Let's say maybe something fell on them, they got hit by a car, or they're wounded, somebody hurt them, or things of that nature. Like I said, first of all, you need to take care of yourself. So you need to, if you want to help, if you so choose to help, because it's your choice as well, but it would be nice if you help. If you so choose to help, you need to analyze the situation. You need to see what's going on. You need to look around. You look around, look left, look right, look up, see if there's if anything presents itself danger to you, an immediate danger to you, an immediate danger to the other person. But first, you need to see what might present itself an immediate danger to you before helping that person. Now, if you choose to decide to help that person, I would suggest to always keep a distance if you're trying to help, because you never know if there's something more going on into a situation. If the situation is going to unfold right in front of your eyes and you just walked into a certain situation where you don't really know what's going on. So, I mean, the most important thing that I say, that if you want to help and you don't want to get involved, call the police, call the paramedics, call for help. Now, if you truly decide that you want to get involved, be prepared for everything and anything that happens, because you chose to get into a situation and things can get out of hand, things can come up unexpectedly, and you need to be aware of this. You need to be aware that with your choice comes responsibility and comes certain risks, and it's all about risk management. Weighing your risks. Are you willing to take this risk for this, or are you willing to take this that risk? So, if you respond to that nature, you go help them. Let's say they're bleeding or whatever, and you wrap they have a wound on their arm, and you wrap it up so they stop bleeding. That's great. That's great. You just did a great deed. But just understand that with those type of things, when you involve yourself in those situations, that other things might come attached with it. And let's say you're at work and somebody says something to you that you might not like. Instead of reacting, take a pause. Take a deep breath, and just think about what is said and in what way what was said affects you, and what you're truly feeling at that time. Because a lot of the times we take anger, we take hurt, we take pain, suffering. We think we might know the emotion, we might recognize the emotion, but there's something that lies underneath that. Sometimes it's fear, something else, and it comes up as anger, and it only comes out when another person makes this reaction come outside of us. So we need to train ourselves to actually, pause for a second, think about it, analyze the situation, see what decisions we have at hand, and then choose wisely. Another thing I wanted to talk about, the pause. I've been practicing the pause a lot in my life lately. I did it before, not knowingly. I've done it many times, but now I make a conscious effort, conscious decision to practice my pause. There's a lot that can be said through silence, and I spoke about this yesterday, about using silence as your friend. Silence is your friend. So pausing allows for you to receive a lot more information than you think you would. Somebody says something and you're not sure what to say, or you're still thinking about it, just pause. You don't even have to say anything. Just pause and just feel the situation, just listen to the situation. And a lot of times things will reveal themselves as the situation goes on. And it's a powerful thing, a powerful pause. A lot of people aren't used to using pauses. I know it was pretty awkward for me in the beginning to use it, but I had to get used to it. Just like with everything, the more you practice it, the more you get used to it. And a lot of people are not used to you giving them pause and giving them silence, because they're so conditioned to this reaction state that they say something and then they're already expecting you to react. They're already expecting you to bounce back or to lash out. And let me tell you something that been reading in The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, which has been one of the greatest books that I have read so far, and I can't speak too highly of it. I cannot find myself speaking too much or too highly of it, because I always recommend it everywhere I go. He says in instances and situations where you have choices. You always have choices, and you need to realize this. And you need to know that if you don't exercise your choice, it's like you're giving up your power, you're giving up your free will. So exercise your choice, and the choices that you have. If you are interacting with somebody, or you're in an interaction or in a situation, so the choices that you have is either stay silent, but you have to be comfortable knowing that staying silent is gonna produce something positive. Either you're gonna be able to maintain self-control, self-mastery, discipline, or you're going to be able to maintain peace of mind. Or sometimes, silence is the best choice. And remember, silence is also a response as well. So if you choose silence, you choose silence. And don't be doubtful if you choose silence. You always have to be confident in your choices. So if you choose silence, be confident that you chose silence. Another thing that you can do to disrupt the energy field in the situation is that you can respond to the situation by acting or by doing some type of action, either by expressing yourself or by doing some type of action that disrupts the energy field. You cannot just not stay there, and that's the thing that I was going to say about silence. Just because you're silent doesn't mean that you accept the situation. Well, if you're silent, you accept the situation as is, but it doesn't mean that you're powerless in the situation. It doesn't mean that you can't do anything in the situation. What silence does is that it brings you into acceptance with the situation. Okay, this is going on, and it's okay. It's fine. I'll be able to handle it. I'm good. I'll be able to come out from this. So, two things I talked about. You can use silence. You can use action to disrupt the energy field in the situation. But just know, with everything, there's always, the more risk you take, the more liable for consequences that'll come back. But you never want to think that there's going to be negative consequences. There's always going to be positive consequences coming back. But you have to choose wisely, because remember, you have to take care of yourself first. And then the third thing would be, in a situation, would be to just flow with the situation, and then just speak when you need to speak, pause when you need to pause, take action when you need to take action. And if there's nothing that you can do, just don't do anything. If there's a lesson to be learned, analyze the situation later and learn your lesson. Remember, there's never a negative situation. All situations are positive. If the situation is testy or challenging, or if there's an issue, there's always a lesson in disguise to be learned. And you never want to use the word problem, because what the word problem does, or the expression of problem, it closes your mind. And when your mind is closed, you're prone to make decisions that are not wise, and the answers don't present themselves. But when your mind is open, when you call a situation an issue or a challenge, your mind opens up naturally, because your mind is a problem solver. Use the problem solver. Your mind is a computer. Your mind is a supercomputer. It's the first original computer. Use it to problem solve. Enhance your problem solving skills. Enhance your critical thinking skills. Enhance it. So I spoke about the pause. I spoke about dealing with situations, responding instead of reacting. Now I will speak about controlled breathing. So a little while back, I read something that got me into breathing exercises. It's an exercise that Marines and also other people in the military use, maybe here, maybe all around the world, but it's called box breathing. So what you do is that you do patterns of breathing, and it goes a little something like this. You breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold it for 4 seconds, you breathe out for 4 seconds, You hold it for 4 seconds, and then you repeat the cycle for 4 minutes. So breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. Well, breathe in, hold it, breathe out, hold it, and then do all of that 4 seconds for 4 minutes continuously. And what this does is, when your body is in a state of fight or flight response, and that happens when your body is stressed, when your body is stressed, when you sense stress, you're sensing a threat. So it's a natural mechanism that has been in our bodies, in our system, since the beginning of time. So it protects us from danger. It helps us cope with the stress. But what a lot of the times it is that with this current life, our fight or flight response is activated due to the everyday stresses. Maybe at the job, maybe the boss is putting pressure on you, or they're not giving you what you actually need or what you want. That creates stress, and that creates a fight or flight response. So remember what I spoke about yesterday. You always want to do things from a calm state. You never want to do things from an excited state, from a stressed state, from a scared state. You always want to do things from a calm state. So what this box breathing does is that it calms you down with the breathing. A lot of people don't actually realize how powerful breathing is, and how much life breathing has. And if you can control your breathing, you can control your fight or flight response. You can control your stress. You can think more clearly. You can have more power. You can have more energy, more stamina. Breath is life. Breath is life. And there's a lot of other breathing techniques I would advise for you, if you're interested, to download a breathing app or breathing exercises on YouTube, which works great. I can't highly recommend excuse me. I can't highly recommend the Wim Hof method, which is one of the greatest breathing exercises that I have discovered so far. So let me tell you how his method is for plenty of rounds, 15 minutes. It gets a little intense. This breathing method actually activates the fight or flight response, and it gets you into a calm state at the same time, which is it's amazing. I could feel my head tingling. I could feel my hands and fingers tingling. I could feel my whole inner being tingling, and a whole relaxed state. I just feel so happy, so relaxed right afterwards. So if you want to take a look at that. Feel free. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is, if you actually had the patience to make it to the end, I appreciate it. I know a lot of people are like, one of my friends said on Facebook, they're like net surfing, and they probably don't have the time, or they have the patience to actually watch a whole video maybe. But if you can grab something from this, I feel like I've given away a lot of knowledge, and if you're receptive to it, you can actually learn it yourself and open up. And if you learn stuff, teach me as well. I'm always open to being taught. They say, I don't consider myself a master, but they say that the master or the teacher actually starts learning when they start teaching the students. So that's an interesting thing for this fact, is that many professors or many professionals later on in their life, they start teaching, and that's where they actually start learning. Not in the first learning phase. That's just a learning phase, like a learning curve in the beginning, but then actually when they start teaching the material, they start understanding the material more fluently and more in depth. So I wanted to speak to about something which caught my interest recently, spirit animals. And I asked you, what is your spirit animal? What animal calls you? What animal turns up in your life frequently? Those are your spirit animals. Usually with spirit animals, they come into your life to show you messages, to give you messages. But if you're only listening, if you're stressed, if you're anxious, if you're not in a calm state, you're not going to see those messages. You're not going to hear those messages because your mind is closed. But if you're in a calm state, if you're open, if you're receptive, you see that the signs are everywhere. The signs are everywhere. And it's funny because I was speaking in one of my groups the other day about that was the topic, what is your spirit animal? And most people, they gave one spirit animal. I'm like, this is great. I never even thought of these animals. But one person, if you're watching or if you watch this video, Tricia Reed, she mentioned that in her lifetime she had many different animals come to her and give her messages, and that's okay too. I mean, it doesn't have to be one animal in particular, but at least if you're open to seeing these animals, they're open to giving you messages, and they're working with the divine force, the divine consciousness, the all consciousness, the all empowering consciousness. They're working with that consciousness to actually bring you in harmony, to help you. So be receptive from it. Don't turn them away. So an interesting thing, and I think I just discovered my spirit animal, is the platypus. I saw a picture on Facebook of a baby platypus, and I'm like, oh, this is so neat, and things like that. So I wanted to know I knew what they were before, but I wanted to know in what way the platypus contributes to the environment. You have to understand, and a lot of people understand it, and those that don't, all these animals in our ecosystem, in our environment, have a job. Everybody needs a job. Even we need a job. All of them have a job, and it's to bring balance. And the platypus, what it does is that, I was reading what it feeds on. It feeds on earthworms. It feeds on freshwater, like crabs, crayfish. It feeds on insects. It feeds on tadpoles. Everything to keep all our ecosystem in line. And if it wasn't for them, there would be an abundance of insects, an abundance of frogs, an abundance. So we have to thank them. We have to give gratitude. If it wasn't for them, we would totally be there would totally be some type of chaos. So the platypus is an interesting animal. What caught my interest largely most is that the platypus is able to dive deep into the water up to 1,000 meters. This was amazing to me. It's like, this is a mammal. It's not a fish. It's not a reptile. It's not an amphibian. It's a mammal. It's just like us. It's a mammal. And understand that whatever animals can do, we can replicate it. We can replicate it because we are part animals. We are part animals. So it doesn't matter what kind of animal it is. It doesn't matter if it's a reptile, if it's a butterfly. We can replicate all that they do. Just look up the qualities of your favorite animal and start replicating it, and you will see that in time you will be in tune with this animal. What this animal does, and the most amazing thing that I saw that this animal does, is that when it goes down into the water and it's looking for things to feed on, or it's looking for anything really to protect itself for anything, it closes its eyes inside the water. It doesn't use its eyes inside the water. It's so amazing. It doesn't use its eyes inside the water. Are you listening to me? Imagine us as human beings walking outside in our environment, in the park, and not using our eyes, but still being able to direct ourselves from point A to point B to point B to point C. This is amazing to me. So it closes its eyes, and the way that it gets around in the water is by sensing the electrical current in the water. Are you listening? The electrical current in the water. Now, how subtle is that? How subtle that this platypus goes under the water and roams about in the water with perfection, with grace, with precision, with his eyes closed, sensing the electrical current of the water. Remember, we're made with, we have electricity that goes on inside our bodies. Our nerve impulses communicate with each other through electricity. And I think everybody has a basic understanding that if we touch an electrical current, we're a conductor of that electricity. We help the electrical current travel, because we have all the right things inside our bodies to make that electrical current travel. Not that in that situation it's a great thing, but just something to think about. And with that, I'll leave for now, for today, my Facebook Live, and I hope you were able to grasp something from it, because these are years of experimenting, trial and error on my part, research, reading, you know, and things of that nature. So up until next time, this is Orange Naranja coming to you live for this Facebook Live, and just sharing a little of the view that I have right now. Thank you for being patient with me, for taking the time to understand me, for taking the time to be with me. Have a blessed day. Peace, love, and happiness.